And we are here. Hey everyone, I'm Ben.
I'm Rom.
Welcome back to the One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the One Piece 4 Kids anime to the Funimation dub and sometimes sub and throw in comparisons to the manga. We are back again today for episode 49 from our end. And coincidentally, it's also episode 49 from the 4 Kids version. We'll cover whatever episodes we may be mixed up in towards the end from the Funimation version. But yeah, what's been going on with you, Rom?
Oh man. So since the last time we talked, so much happened in the manga. Um, one of the things about Luffy that we've known for the last 20 years, I mean, obviously, depending on whenever you started One Piece, it was just completely flipped on its head.
Luffy no longer had ever eaten the cursed fruit.
Well, um, I won't say too much. I mean, it was a cursed fruit, but I'll just leave it at that. That was basically a huge bombshell. Actually, one of the things that happened, and I think I might have mentioned in the last episode, which is that like One Piece was on a hiatus because someone hacked Toei,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I think I might have actually mentioned this, and I have this like funny conspiracy theory about how like it was because of one of the chapter releases because major character was released. But yeah, like so ever since we saw like learned about all these revelations, it's just been like insane chapter after insane chapter. I think this week it's kind of calmed down a little bit compared to the last two or three chapters. So at least for the next chapter and likely the chapter after that, which like the next chapter is basically going to come out this weekend, and then there's going to be a buy, and then there's going to be another chapter, and then there's going to be another buy. So, but I do think the next two chapters will kind of be a little more light, because the last four or five chapters have just been like hits. Like honestly, one of the chapters in the last four or five chapters, some people are arguing that it might be the best chapter of One Piece yet. That's how crazy the manga has been going on. And yeah, so I think the spoilers kind of came out for the upcoming chapter, and I checked out the spoilers, and I think this week it's going to be a little more calm. So looking forward to what's going to come out this week. And yeah, I think the next two chapters will be pretty light because there's so much going on right now. Like even though a lot of the fights, I mean, actually, all of the fights have pretty much wrapped up except one fight, and but there's still like we don't know what's going on with this one character. This one character has pretty much disappeared for like the last, let's say, like 20 chapters or something. No one knows what he's doing or where he is. I'm hoping we at least see him in the chapter that's coming up. So there's still quite a bit going on right now, but I think the next two chapters will be a little more calm compared to the previous fights. But then again, because it is going on a bite, maybe there will be like this huge cliffhanger, huge chapter. It's really hard to say. So that's kind of been what's going on with the manga. Like it's just been hit after hit after hit. Like it's just like it's one of those things where I'm so glad I decided to pull the trigger on watching this show and catching up to it. Like, I'm so happy I made that decision to pick up this show.
Wow,
Uh,
it's been that good, huh?
it's dude, it's been paying off, man. Like it's gonna be a bit of a flashback as to. I mean, I might have actually mentioned this in the first episode. I'm not really sure. Part of the reason I even took up One Piece was, I started rewatching Digimon just out of random. I found it on YouTube, all the episodes for the first four seasons. Started watching all of those, and then that kind of triggered me to just pulling the trigger and watching the anime section on Netflix. Started watching all of that, which took me to a website where we can watch dubbed anime, and I saw this one show just constantly putting out an episode every single week called One Piece. And then one day I was like, all right, fuck it, like let's go check out what this show is. Watched the first episode. and then I just kept watching it and watching it, and then I got addicted to it, and then like I stopped watching all the other because like at the time I was watching so many different animes, dude. Like I was watching a lot of stuff that that would only last 24 episodes, stuff that would only last 12 episodes. Like I was like just going through it, and then when I saw One Piece and I got addicted to it, that's the only show that I watched. And actually doing that and also meeting you and when you introduced me to DCTV, that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
took me away from anime kind of completely almost, because the only anime I would watch is One Piece, and I wouldn't watch anything else. Um, and so I stopped anime for a bit before I kind of started to get back on because of Attack on Titan. But so yeah, that's kind of how like One Piece started, and I'm so glad I decided to pull the trigger and click on that one link and watch the show because man, it's really paying off. Like, yeah, it's insane for me that I was starting off around episode. Well, when I started, I think the show was around episode 600 something, and this was like back in 2012 or 13. And so yeah, it's been like a full decade that I've been watching this. Show's been on since '99, so it was on for 12 years prior. But yeah, it's insane to me that I somehow stuck with it and can still watch it.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
yeah, I
guess
mean,
I guess speaking of Attack on Titan, I was right in my prediction. Season 3 or season wait,
4.
season 4 part 3, right?
Yeah,
Is coming out, baby. Woohoo! I called it. They're
they
going to
really
stretch the
shouldn't.
hell out of that, man.
They honestly shouldn't have even labeled season 4 as the last season. Like
Yeah,
they should have.
they kept doing that. They did that with the part 2. They said they said last season for part 1, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, it's going to end." And they're like part 2, and now they're like part 3, baby.
I know, like now people are kind of like making all these memes about there'll be like a part 23 coming out in like 15 years or something.
Yeah.
So was talking about stuff that I got really into. So when they announced season 4 was coming out and it was going to be the final season, and then it was also announced that the manga was ending, I watched it. I was thinking, and I think I said this in a previous episode, that I watched it and I thought that by the time I caught up to it, I would have watched the anime as it concluded. Obviously, that didn't happen. I ended up catching up. I watched all the episodes that were available in one weekend,
Yeah.
and I then read the manga and caught up. And I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way it's gonna end in like the episode count that they said that will. And sure enough, they announced part two. And then when I didn't watch part two at all, I'd see like trailers for the next episode and stuff. And when I saw one of the trailers for episode 11, I'm like, there is no way they're going to conclude it in like the next few episodes. When they announced 12 episodes, I'm like, I guess it's possible, but then like when I saw where they were, I'm like, there's no way. And now obviously there's a part three, and I don't know how many episodes there are, but I was not surprised that there is a
12
part
more
three.
episodes, baby.
Yeah. Is it? No, I don't think it's
I don't.
12 episodes.
Oh, they're gonna add filler, man.
No, I mean the show is done. The source material is
It doesn't matter. They're
finished.
gonna add new filler.
I mean, dude,
They gotta add some
yeah.
filler. Then you gotta add the extra pages. They gotta add. They gotta switch up the story a little bit. So for all the people that pissed off from the manga, they gotta give it a slightly different ending. They're doing it. That's my prediction.
Did you get spoiled about like
No, I didn't
the
get
actual?
spoiled about anything. Period. I'm just saying that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, for people who hated the manga ending,
Yeah.
they'll get like.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like the whole like Game of Thrones thing. Every
I would.
time I look up that dude's age, I get more and more worried. Uh, that
What?
book's never coming out.
Oh yeah, J.R.R.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. He said he like started to progress on it since he was forced to stay home, but obviously now
Bro, it's
with
been 3 years now. Why isn't he done?
I don't know, man. I mean, what's kind of funny is didn't those books start before the Harry Potter books?
Yeah, the freaking like first Game of Thrones book like was like in 1993.
When was the first Harry Potter book?
Uh, oh, good point. Let's see. First, let's see. A Game of Thrones was oh, okay, sorry. Game of Thrones was 1996.
Oh, Harry Potter started in 1997.
1 year after Harry Potter started. Okay.
Yeah, dude, like it's like the first one, the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, whatever you want it. He released his first book. This lady completed was it 7 books? 7 books, and then wrote a whole bunch of other books along the way. And then she also is contributing to the new movies, the
And nobody
crime book.
wants anything to do with her.
I mean, she's still getting paid
I
20
know.
mil, 20 mil per movie with the new stuff too.
God,
It's like,
that is like, can there be? I we getting sidetracked, but can there be a shittier person than J.K. Rowling? Like, my
I mean,
God,
yeah, it's
it's
insane.
so like that is. I don't. I can't think of anything else like that. Like, this is like so big, but the creator is like the worst person. Like, I mean, at least we
Yeah,
haven't found anything bad about Star Wars yet. Like at least George Lucas isn't going out there saying terrible things.
yeah. I mean,
But
isn't he like pretty
see,
much
that's
locked
the
behind his
thing.
pod
It
now?
wouldn't be as bad because George Lucas isn't even involved with Star Wars anymore. So we'd be just like, all right, well, screw it. He already left forever ago. But she's still
Yeah,
involved with Harry Potter, and I mean, she's not gonna stop being involved with it. But my God,
yeah. It's insane. What's actually funny is that some of the people who wanted to ban her books are now like siding with her because of all the
fuck those
like
people, man.
there was like a concerted effort by a certain group of people because they're like, oh, this book is promoting
Yeah.
witchcraft and all this, and now they're like, after all her views came out, they're like, yo, they're trying to cancel her and this and that. Like, oh my gosh, man. The actors have pretty much like anytime like she said something, the actors have pretty much said, no, we respect everyone's rights and their right to exist and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I really feel bad too for like because they're coming out with like a new Harry Potter game that's supposed to be really really good. And like throughout the whole time, like she's just saying more stupid shit on Twitter and all this like all these hateful comments, and I'm just like, dude, I feel so bad for the people that are working on that game. Like I mean, they're getting paid, but like I'm sure there's some people that are really deeply offended by the things that she's saying, and they don't want her involved at all, but she's just miring the whole situation.
yeah. So apparently uh it's not like too I know like we like to think that the U.S. is pretty conservative and stuff, but actually like apparently like despite the UK being as progressive as they are regarding social issues, apparently like there is like a huge transphobic
Mm-hmm.
thing in the UK. Like apparently a lot of countries that are very conservative are apparently like more liberal when it comes to trans rights than the UK is. Apparently, like there's I don't know how factual it is, but that's what I heard is that like despite UK being friendly towards like LGBTQ people, like apparently trans people are like the one thing like they're like
Yeah, they
very
decided to draw the line somewhere, and that's where they.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so what she says, it's kind of like along the lines of like like her views aren't like a fringe view there, I guess I should say.
yeah.
And it's not really a fringe view here either. Like that's another thing. But yeah, dude, like it's like ever since like George R. R. Martin started the first, she's put out so much. Like, dang, like
But
um
now, see, that's the thing, though. Okay, she said, and this just speaks to her character too. I'm giving George R. R. Martin more credit, even though I just don't really even like Game of Thrones that much. But like, she said she was done. I feel like she said she like she keeps coming out with all this other shit, right? Like I mean, I'm sure it's all she's just following the money, but like she said she was done with Harry Potter. Now she's all like on this fantastic they made a movie out of a book that was like 10 pages and they're making 3 movies. Like,
Yeah, I
like the
don't know how much.
Fantastic Beast book was seriously like I'm exaggerating when I said 10, but like it's like a novella. It's like 100-page book and they're making 3 movies out of a 100-page book.
I think it's 5 or 6, something like that.
There I thought the last one was the final one. And
No,
that
I think there's going to be at least two more. I think.
well, I don't know if there is going to be any more because that Fantastic Beasts 3, um,
Dumbledore one.
yeah, apparently that's getting really bad reviews.
Well, there better be considering what they did with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Like, they they kicked him out, and then now like they replaced him, and like it's like if it's only going to be one other movie, they could have just kept Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. But no, there is going to be I think two more because apparently Dumbledore had this epic battle against epic duel against Grindelwald, and it was apparently the greatest duel of all time. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to top when Dumbledore faced off against Voldemort in not the Prisoner of Azkaban, the fire one, the is it the oh, man, the fifth book when Dumbledore faced off against Voldemort. No, not Half Blood Prince. Is it? I think it is Order of the Phoenix. Yeah. So in Order of the Phoenix, when they are in the Chamber of Secrets, I think that's what it's called. Not the Chamber of Secrets. The government building. Um, Voldemort comes face to face with Dumbledore, and then they have this. And the movie did a great job, animating the duel that they had. Like it was intense. How cool this the graphics CGI was. What was it? Not Defense Against
it was
the
good for the
Ministry,
time.
Ministry of Magic or something. I don't know. And like it was just like this like it was like this really insane battle. And apparently this battle that Dumbledore has against Grindelwald that's about to come up. I don't know if it's going to be in this movie or if it's going to be in another movie, but it's gonna be like this. It's said to be the greatest duel of all time. So that's the only reason I'm like sticking through is to see how they do that.
I still have only seen the first Fantastic Beasts movie. I never saw the second one. I'll watch them eventually.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? I'm saying it here. I'm just gonna illegally download them. I'm not supporting her.
Yeah. Probably just watch it whenever it comes on a streaming service.
Probably just make no. Whenever it comes on a streaming service, just have someone record it off the streaming service for you. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Actually,
Have it.
what
Just
I'll
watch
do
someone like
is
share it like with a camcorder or something. Like a webcam off of a webcam. That way you're like just like she's not getting a cent.
well, what I might do is I might do what I did with the first two Fantastic Beast movies. I'll go to the dollar theater and watch it there. If the dollar
Okay, yeah,
theater,
good. Yeah, she's not getting shit for that.
dude, I don't even know if the dollar theater still exists. I don't even know if it survived the pandemic.
I think it's still
I
there.
hope it did. I hope it did. It's on Merchants Walk.
Yeah.
I need to see if it still exists. I hope it still exists because yeah, dude.
I hope it still exists too because I need to see Morbius like 50 times.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll wait until it's in the dollar theater and I'll watch it there. By that time, it'll probably be in a streaming service. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I guess let's get into this episode.
okay.
Oh, what's
So
going on, zombie dude? If you stick around towards the end, I know this might be forever podcast, but we'll answer some questions at the end if you have any questions about One Piece or whatever. But welcome on in.
yeah. But yeah, Ben, what's been going on with you?
Not much. Just uh, I'm just all about Morbius. Ever since I saw that tweet from Sony Pictures or from at Morbius movie about Jared Leto showing up to the exclusive Discord community screening, I just all been in that all about Morbius. I'm in the Morbius Discord. You guys can catch me there, um, morbing it up. That's pretty much me. I've started reading the Morbius comic, uh,
So you're
but
like all in.
yeah, I'm all in Morbius, man. Um,
Okay. I think I know what to get for your next birthday gift.
yeah, yeah, dude. Just get me a Morbius shirt. Give me a Morbius comic. Um,
Yeah.
a paper Morbius cup. But yeah. Um, I guess let's get into this episode here.
Yep.
Oh, you're. How far is chapter 7 of the manga? Is that only like the first?
Chapter 7.
Yeah, this person watching Zombie Dude says that they're at chapter 7 of the manga. Haven't we passed that like forever ago?
It's like it's like within the first 5 episodes.
Oh, so yeah,
Um,
yeah. So this is gonna be major spoilers. Oh, okay. Zoro just joined the team. See, I don't know Zoro as Zoro. I know him as Zolo because I'm a Four Kids fan here. Uh,
yeah.
well, I
Yeah.
guess good thing, Zombie Dude. No one that you've seen so far has died. So I mean, no death spoilers.
No one will ever die.
Uh,
That's
well,
the line
there's
keeps
someone
popping.
that does.
Nope.
Yeah, someone died.
Okay.
Oh, you're reading the Four Kids manga too. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Okay, so this episode opens up with Nami being sick in bed, Luffy explaining that they're getting her to a doctor, but have to make it up the mountain first. Um, yeah, this is definitely after chapter 7, Zombie Dude. We're in episode 49 of the show, so if you
This is
want
like
to stop
past
by later,
chapter 100.
yeah. But thanks for tuning in, and thanks for stopping by. Maybe if you get caught up, you can come back.
Yeah, I mean, if you're reading the manga, actually at this point, I know we're covering the anime, but if you want to get caught up with One Piece, up to the current events, the manga is the best way to go because like the manga you can easily
You can
consume like
speed through it, yeah.
yeah, like you can go at your own pace. Because the anime, it's like you have to sit and you have to wait for the animation to go through. It's not like, I mean, I guess technically you could watch it in 2 times the speed or something, but it's like kind of bad. But the manga, it's like you can read at your own pace. I know the first time I did like a manga reading session, I did like 20 or 30 chapters in like 2.5 hours. Um, so yeah, I mean that would be like the best way to get caught up to the current events at One Piece, which it's just top tier stuff that's out there right now. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to keep on reading the manga.
I didn't know there was a fan edit of One Piece. Is there like a One Piece abridged or whatever? There probably is.
So there's this site called One Pace where they basically speed up the episode.
Oh,
Like you know how like there's like extended scenes where they just stare and nothing happens. They cut down on that. They kind of basically speed up. They kind of slow it down for the dialogue.
oh, gotcha. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, he said One Piece.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. All right, yeah.
yeah.
Also, if I just pasted the link to our YouTube. If you want to check it out, you could actually. I think like the first 2 episodes or something, first 2 or 3 episodes would be like where you're at. So if you wanted to listen to us talk about the first couple mangas, you could do that as well. So,
Yep.
but yeah, thanks for stopping by. So yeah, uh, the yeah, so they're talking about getting her to a doctor, but they have to make it up the mountain first. Sanji asks how they'll get her up there, as Luffy says he'll carry her. No one believes that he can do it. Nami, in her weakness, tells them to stop arguing and to let him take her. Um, and then she tells Luffy to lead the way as Luffy gives her a high five. Sanji decides to go with him as Usopp warns he better not slip up. They strap Nami to Luffy's back and are about to head up the mountain when Dalton tells Luffy to take the other side because there are vicious rabbits. Luffy says he's not scared of them. that he'll just kick them as he runs off. Dalton says he doesn't have a good feeling about this, and Usopp says Sanji and Luffy are the best. Vivi says, yeah, but it's not them we're worried about. We're worried about Nami. Um, Dalton then goes on to say how all of the doctors have disappeared, but or how all of their doctors have disappeared, um, and that they're all gone now. He then says that their entire country was wiped out by a band of bloodthirsty pirates. He said that 5 of them, with a captain named Blackbeard, destroyed most of them with no mercy. Then says he thinks it worked out for the best because their king was worse, a demon named Wapple. And then they, think back about Wapple hopping aboard the ship. I guess I'll stop here to see if there's anything different or anything I might have missed.
So I'm curious, like, how does Dalton sound? Does he sound normal, or do they give him like a special voice?
No, nothing out of the ordinary. There's no like really weird voice here that I would like care to mention.
Okay. I was just kind of curious. But yeah, I mean, as far as the Funimation dub, yeah, it's pretty much all kind of along the same thing. They tried to figure out how to take Nami to a doctor. We know that there's only one doctor at the top of the mountain, so Luffy volunteers, and then Sanji says he'll go with him to make sure that Luffy basically gets her there safely and stuff. So yeah, I think everything's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay, Luffy. So it then cuts back to Luffy. He's complaining about the wind and cold as he's running up the mountain. Sanji basically says, "Duh, you're barely clothed with your shirt and shorts." Luffy says, "I bet you don't know what people in cold countries sleep under." Uh, Sanji says, "What?" He goes, "A blanket of snow." So he tells like a little joke there. Um, we then see the vicious rabbits as they pass them. They turn out to be giant, supersized rabbits that Luffy mistakes for polar bears, and they are now surrounded by them, and the rabbits are ready to attack. Cuts back to Vivi saying she's known Wapple way before that. When she was young, her father took her to the League of the Kings meeting. Dalton seems suspicious, or like he's then like suspicious of Vivi, and he asks why would she know him, and she quickly says it was for like a school project. She then says she hasn't seen him until yesterday, and why was he referring to himself as a pirate and not a king? Dalton goes on to explain that when the going got tough, Wapple ran away from the pirates and left them all there to fight Blackbeard. Vivi is pissed and can't believe a real king would do that. Dalton explains that they've done their best to form their own government, free and open, one apiece. He warns that Wapple wants war and thinks that, and in his head he's thinking he hopes that his ship sinks. We then cut to, I guess that's where I'll leave it. Anything that was mentioned here that was different?
No, it's about the same. Like Dalton, he kind of recognizes Vivi, but he can't pinpoint how he recognizes her and stuff. Um, and yeah, she kind of mentions about how they met at well, it's called the Holy Land. Is I don't know if they name it in the Four Kids. It's called Marijua. Did they say
Mm-mm,
that?
they never said that
Oh,
word.
okay. Well, like that's what the name of the Holy Lands is. It's called Marijua. And so yeah, like basically
Oh, that's where the king thing took place.
yeah. And so like yeah, when Dalton tries to ask more about her, she kind of just deflects it to not reveal her
Yeah.
true identity and stuff. So yeah, all that is pretty much about the same. So okay, so they see the bunch of rabbits, and okay, so yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It then cuts to Wapple and one of the I can't remember who that weird jester looking crew member is. I can't remember their name.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Explaining that they're almost close to home as Wapple says he's hungry. All of a sudden, it cuts back to the polar. I call them polar hares. Like this is like the I feel like they should have, as a joke, called them polar hares.
Yeah,
Um,
they probably should have.
but they didn't. So all of a sudden, it cuts back to those rabbits, and Luffy refers to them as bears again, before Sanji corrects him and explaining that they're rabbits. And see, this is where Luffy should have said that they're polar hares, but no, this is what they translated it to say. Luffy goes, "Oh yeah, they're funny bunnies,"
Oh
and I'm just
no,
like, no, that's not even remotely like funny or witty or anything. That's just like the laziest thing you could call them.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the same. I think Luffy kind of like talks about it's being like a bear, and Sanji says it's clearly a rabbit. But yeah,
He doesn't call them funny bunnies.
no.
Wow, such a shame. Uh, Sanji then says, nothing funny about these bunnies, that they're hungry. And see, and this is another point where I'm complaining. They went and called them funny bunnies. Then they should, in my eyes, if they're going to say something that stupid, then Sanji should have said, no, they're more like hungry bunnies. But no, he didn't say that. He just said, no, that's not, there's nothing funny. They're just hungry. So, anyways, um, we then hear Nami mutter Alabasta as Sanji affirms her that they will not let her down. Sanji prepares to fight the bunnies as they close in on him. He warns Luffy to stay out of the way as Nami's on his back because she can't take it pounding. Luffy says he wants to fight as um, or he says he will not fight as he keeps dodging attacks left and right. Sanji then begins taking forever, like taking his time fighting the rabbits, and like knocks one of them out. But then it's like too hard for him to see because of like the snow that's falling down. So they start chasing him as Sanji tells Luffy to go ahead and run for the trees and hurry up. That rabbits are only good for rabbit stew. All of a sudden, Luffy decides to like jump up another hill, and at this point, like it's like so stupid in my eyes that he's like telling him not to fight because like Nami appears to look even more beat because like of all the jumping around and stuff that like Luffy's doing. So I just think it's kind of funny that they're like, "Don't fight, you got to worry about Nami," but yet they're like dodging and going crazy like with Nami on her back anyways.
Yeah, so really quick, did they cut out the scene where Luffy and Sanji are running around and as this bunny tries to attack them, they just jump over it, not even acknowledging it?
Yeah, so they did do that, and then at so
Oh,
yeah,
it's this funny scene basically where like they're running, they see the bunny, and the bunny tries to attack them, and they just like jump over it while they're talking, and it's like this very funny thing. And then in the last second, like Sanji just kicks, like he just says you're annoying and kicks the bunny. This is before we kind of reach the thing where we see all these bunnies. I can't believe they cut it because that was like a really
I
funny
think they
like.
did. I think that was in there because he did knock one bunny out.
But they didn't show the part where like the bunny was attacking them and they were just jumping over it.
Yeah, they did. I just didn't like. They didn't cut that part out, but
Okay,
I
okay,
just
okay.
didn't like. Honestly, like I feel like some of these things that you catch are because you've seen this so many times. I'm like so focused on trying to write these notes that I miss some of the funny things.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So
think
yeah.
that cut that. I think that was in there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But
So
if
yeah.
anyone wants to correct me and say I'm wrong, they can in our YouTube comments. But I'm pretty sure that was in there. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. No. No. That was just the one thing I wanted to
Okay.
ask. But yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I see. This is the part that I did catch that I thought that was more funny. Is so at this point, Sanji then like jumps on top of a mountain, and like they've gotten away from the rabbits, and Luffy sticks his tongue out, and then it looks like the rabbits begin to start like flying up the mountain, and then they just start running away again.
Oh, and the Sanji like screaming at him. You just had
Yeah,
to from the. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So that's the part that made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, then it cuts back to Dalton, and he asks, "Why are they sailing to the Grand Line without a doctor? It's foolish." All of a sudden, we see someone walk by, whom Dalton refers to as Big Mama. Big Mama says she's heard that she heard like, so he's asking like Big Mama about the witch, and Big Mama says, "Oh yeah, that she heard that she's over in Cocoa Leaf, meaning that she's not even at the mountain." Um, so then Dalton like freaks out. All of a sudden, it cuts to Cocoa Leaf Town. As someone mentions, it's the witch doctor and her demon reindeer. As we get a closer look at the witch and her reindeer, it's then revealed the deer's name is Chopper. Is that correct?
Yeah, Chopper. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The witch says time to make a house call, and she just bursts down and knocks down the door. Um, like she says she's like I'll knock, but then she just like slams the door down. Um, everyone's
Did they
terrified. Go ahead.
did they cut out the scene where the kids just like in middle of the restaurant just wailing and crying?
Everyone's scared of her as she walks in. I can say that. Like everyone, even like the adults.
No, I mean like this is before she walks in. Like there's like so basically in that scene a kid is basically like standing there crying his like butt out, like he's just crying his eyes out, and the and he's like the son of the owner of the restaurant, and the patrons, they're just like, hey, we've been here for a long time, this kid is just constantly crying, can you get him to stop? The bar owner goes and says, hey, what's wrong? If you're not going to tell, you're going to have to go into your room or something. And that's when the doctor, the witch doctor, and her reindeer come in. She tells Chopper, she's like, it doesn't look like there's a good dad inside, Chopper, and she's like, wait here, Chopper, and then she doesn't knock. She doesn't say, oh, I'm gonna try to knock. No, she just straight up bashes the door in.
Yeah, so there's no restaurant part. The only part that I see is her bashing the door in.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a restaurant, but yeah.
Okay, I guess I don't know why they cut that part out, but I guess just to save on time. um, but yeah, so as soon as she bursts down the door, um, everyone is terrified that the witch is back, and someone says she's 100 years old. She corrects them and says that she's 99 and a half, and like almost throws a fork through a guy, but he dodges it. Or no, I actually she doesn't. He doesn't dodge it. I think that she just throws it so it'll hit him, like barely miss him. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So then this kid is in there crying, and someone says uh, that she'll take care of him. He's just scared. Or oh, so the kid's crying, and then she like just acts like she's leaving or whatever. But anyways, it cuts back to the next scene. Um, Dalton and the rest of the crew are rushing towards the witch and Cocoa Leaf to make sure she arrives back at the castle. Dalton says it's scary when the only doctor is a mountain witch. We then see he then cuts back to the kid saying that his hand hurts, and she like hits him in the leg, or like pushes him in the leg, and she realizes that it's actually his leg. Um, she says that his knee is infected, and this is the part that I don't get. She says that cooties have chewed his knees down to the bone.
She says there's like an infection that's all the way right to the bone.
Okay, yeah. So for some odd reason, she says cooties in here. I don't know why, because she also says infected, but she says cooties have chewed it to the bone. I don't know. I guess that's just a American kid's joke right there.
I guess.
She then asks her dear for some anesthetics. They ask how serious it is, and she says her face, it's awful. And then she says, oh, you're talking about the boy? She says it's serious. He'll be fine as soon as she fixes him up. She then tells the father he needs to rest now. He'll be fine, but now it's time to talk about a payment. The witch asks for half of what they have, and becomes pissed when people are believing that it's not worth it. The kid then just kind of like gets up and says, like, sits up and says thank you, and she says, oh, because of that cute kid, I'll change it to 49%. As she's leaving, she asks if the kid thinks that she's still scary, to which he replies yes, and she seems happy about it. So yeah, that's what happened here. Anything different?
No, it's all pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay. So we now cut back to Zolo and Karu back at the ship as Zolo has now jumped into the ice cold water. Karu decides to jump in as well. Um, then it cuts back to Luffy, and he's asking if the bunnies are gone, and Sanji replies, "They're back." All of a sudden, all the bunnies start hopping around, and Luffy is confused, and Sanji says, "This is bad." Then it cuts back to Dalton, and he's talking about how he used to work for Wapol, and he was the defense chief. He then reveals that Wapol had decided to ban doctors because he didn't give a pig's knuckle about anyone in the town. Um, and Usopp says that they should have sent the king back to the factory because he was defective. Um, Vivi then says that's horrible. Good thing he's gone now because he's a criminal. We now see that Chopper is transporting the witch back towards the castle, presumably. It then cuts back to Zolo realizing that he swam so far away that he's ended up in the middle of nowhere. Like there's like snow everywhere around him now. He then comes towards the witch and he says, "Oh, it's Freaky Rita," and witch reveals. The witch then says that he's in trouble with his trash little mouth, and punches him into like far up into the snow. And she says, "No shirt, no service." And then Zolo then like is standing there like all like beat up, and he says he starts to freeze, and says that he's so cold if he milked a cow he'd get a pint of ice cream. And then we see Wapol coming back to the island, and he says "Home sweet home" at last, and the episode ends.
Okay, so yeah, a couple of changes. So basically, Zoro jumps into the cold water, and he looks up at Karu, and he says, "Hey Karu, do you want to jump into this cold water?" And Karu's like, "No." And then Karu's shaking his beak, no, no, no. And then he looks down, and then Zoro's missing. And then Karu thinks that Zoro got cold and drowned or something, and so he jumps into the water. And then Zoro just emerges out of nowhere, saying, "Wow, there's a lot of fish. Okay, I can kind of continue my swimming." So that was the dialogue was a little different there. And then basically then like the other scene where Zoro is walking around, he's like, "Oh, it's so cold here," and stuff. He's like, "Oh, it's really cold out here," and then he sees he sees the witch doctor. Thing is, by now we already know the name of the witch doctor. Her name is Dr. Kureha. And so yeah, he sees he doesn't know it's the witch doctor. He's like, "Oh great, I'm saved." And then he goes towards the Dr. Kureha and the reindeer, and he's like, "Hey," he doesn't know that she's a doctor either. He's like, "Hey lady, hey old lady, aren't you like a little old to be wearing that belt, like that midriff?" Um, and then uh, like the doctor, the old lady just punches him, and then she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still in my young 130s or something." And then she starts to go away, and then Zoro gets up. And he's like, "Hey, come back," or something like that. And yeah, so a couple of changes right there. So actually,
Why does he call her in the Four Kids Freaky Rita?
oh, I have no idea. I mean, she's an old lady wearing a midriff with with a belly ring. So
What does Rita
I don't know
even
how he's
mean?
using a midriff. I don't know what Freaky Rita is. I've never heard that reference before. Um, and also like so Dalton, when he's talking about Wapol, he talks about how like Wapol was his former king. He was this like cruel king. Like his dad was great, but like Wapol was like garbage. Talks about how like Wapol had this idea where he would expel all the doctors except the top 20 doctors, and so he talks about how like if anyone needs any kind of like treatment, they would have to come beg him, and then he would basically offer the doctor services. So he was like a cruel guy. So yeah, just a
Weird.
little
In the
different.
four kids, they just said doctors are all banned.
Oh yeah, he basically like expelled the doctors, banished them from the country except the top 20, so
Oh,
that he can
yeah, they
have his
didn't
own.
mention that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah. And so yeah, we see then he lands in the he lands at the country, and yeah, I mean my episode keeps on going, but yeah, I guess that's where your episode ends. Yeah.
Yeah, so how many episodes, like, what episodes does this cover from your end?
On my end, let me see. I think it's. Hang on. It went out. Unable to load. I had the One Piece thing. Okay, here we go. So this up to the scene that we're currently at. We are at. I think we're pretty much covering chapter 80. Sorry, episode 81. I think. Yeah, it's pretty much episode 81, part of 82, but mostly 81, and a bit of 80, but mostly 81.
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in the 80s.
Yep. I'm at 49. My episode title was called Rabid Rabbits.
So my episode titles are An Island Without Doctors, Adventure in a Nameless Island. Are You Happy? The Doctor Called Witch. And then I guess this is more for the next episode. It's like Dalton's Resolve. Walpole's core landed on the island.
Okay. Interesting. We'll have to see where this goes from the four kids perspective. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for our new viewer, Zombie. And yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back in a couple weeks for the next episode.
Yep.
Later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.